Hi guys, Lorelai here. Sorry if I'm squinting a lot. It's really bright out here. Just FYI, I live in Florida, so it's really effing hot right now. 'Cause it's July, and I'd probably be doing this inside, except I really wanted to get some nature in me, so that's why I'm outside in this oppressive heat. Ugh. It's still beautiful out here, it's just really, really hot. Anyway, today I wanted to talk to you guys about Christianity versus paganism. And it's interesting to me because I've just been seeing a lot of YouTube videos talking about people that have been part of the New Age community for a really long time, suddenly converting to Christianity and stuff like that. And I did the opposite. So I was raised Christian, and I wouldn't necessarily say, I wouldn't call it converting. You know what I'm saying? I just followed my path and it brought me here. So anyway, what started this idea for this video was actually my husband's grandmother. One of my husband's grandmothers passed away recently, and we went to her funeral. I didn't know her very well. I mean, she came to a few family gatherings and stuff, but she was always very quiet, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to her, one-on-one or anything. And it was I did that on purpose, I guess. I knew that she was very, very, very Christian and Baptist Christian. And so I was afraid that if I talked to her one-on-one, she would want to talk about, her faith and stuff like that. And I didn't want to try and argue with someone who was obviously very devout in their belief system, because first of all, I'm not going to change her mind. I don't want to change her mind. She's absolutely allowed to have her own beliefs, but I know enough about the Southern Baptist denomination to know that I also don't want anybody telling me that I'm going to hell. I mean, I'm just not into that. I just don't want to deal with that. So anyway, we went to her funeral, and for the most part, it was a really nice service. My parents came as well because they knew her a little bit. And my mom has become a little bit more, I would say more and more devout, but also more and more kind of judgmentally towards me. She is not Southern Baptist, but she totally could be. She would be totally comfortable in a Southern Baptist church. Whereas, I don't think my dad would be, and I definitely wouldn't be. So anyway, we got to the part of the service where the preacher, pastor, dude, kind of pulled out a bunch of scripture, and he was like, I want to give you guys, I want to just bring some of these up and blah, 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 blah. And he kind of went from honoring the woman's life to, if you don't do this stuff, you're going to hell. And he even at one point, and this offended both me and my husband actually, at one point he was like, if you're saved, if you have Jesus Christ in your heart, then, this is not the last you're seeing of this woman, because you'll see her again in heaven. But if you're not saved, if you haven't accepted Jesus Christ into your heart, blah, 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 then you're done. You're never going to see her again. And we were kind of like, that's really not something you should point out at a funeral, dude. This is supposed to be a celebration of her life, not a condemnation of people in the audience. Or, that's, whatever. So, one of the scriptures that he brought out was, I think it's John 3:16, I think. Anyway, it's the one where Jesus says, it's the I am the way, the truth, and the light. If you come through me, you shall not perish, or something like that. I don't know. But the priest or pastor actually stopped when he got to I am the way, right? So he says, I am the way. And he stops and he goes, see this? He says the way, not a way, but the way. And in my head, I'm going, this is exactly why I'm not Christian. Because I believe that Jesus is a way, not the way. A way. Not the only one, just one of many. There are many paths that lead up the mountain, and Jesus is one of them. But if Jesus doesn't vibe with you, or if you found another way, another path up the mountain, go with that. It's fine. You know, if we were all on this one same path to deity, to God, to enlightenment, whatever, good grief, do you realize how crowded that path would be? Like, you wouldn't have any breathing room. And I mean, I know I'm taking this metaphor kind of far, but still, so anyway, one of the things my husband and I talked about after the funeral on the way home, because we were both kind of just talking about our beliefs and how we were a little bit offended by the service and that kind of thing, but because I was watching these other YouTube videos about people in the pagan or neo-pagan or, New Age community that were converting to Christianity, I kind of came on to something. I think that it's easier to be Christian for many reasons. It's easier because everyone else is doing it. Like Christianity is probably the most popular religion, at least where I'm at. I know it's the most popular religion where I'm at. So if you're Christian, you're just immediately accepted, Seriously, Days? Sorry, my dog is climbing things. Anyway, it's easier to be Christian because not only are you generally accepted very easily and you don't have to hide your spirituality or whatever, but also just because in Christianity, you rely solely on a higher power. You give everything to God. You rely completely on Him to give you everything you need and trust in Him that He will send everything your way and all this stuff. And in a lot of ways, that is easier. I did not have a whole lot of anxiety issues when I was Christian. I have way more anxiety issues now that I'm pagan. And I really, I actually do believe that a lot of it has to do with I don't rely completely and solely on deity anymore. I'm it. I've got to deal with my own shit. And, yeah, I can ask for help, but I can't just give it completely away. I have to do something about it too, So in paganism, specifically Wicca, in witchcraft, you work with deity, energy, the universe, to create change. You don't just give it all to them and go, here you go, do something with it. You have to do something too. And I think that means that for me, it's easier to be Christian. But I'm not. I have chosen, I guess, the harder path. Whatever that means to me. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to discuss today. I'd love to hear your comments, your input, your opinions down below. Just give me a shout out, and I'll talk to you guys later.